Yes, I'll show you why I think we're about to have COVID too. Okay, I'm going to show you 4 different charts in this video, so just speed me up because it's probably going to be a little bit, okay, but I'll try to get through it quickly. First, this is the first case of mpox in the United States in 2021. We see Jupiter was at the first degree of Pisces in the 4th house of home of the United States, okay? Jupiter is the chart ruler for the United States, okay? And we had Mercury right there on Jupiter in the 8th house of death, okay? An illness that's bringing us in some death. We had a Mars-Venus conjunction. Remember that. We'll come back to that. Okay, and the North Node was right on Uranus. Uranus is associated with that revolution. It's chaotic energy, but it's also like the revolutionary energy that we're about to have. So like this could be linked to why we're having a revolution here, okay? So this is the first case from 2022 that kicked off the pandemic we had, which was mpox clade 2, which is like the less serious version of mpox, okay? And here we had a Mars-Venus conjunction in Pisces, okay? And Jupiter was at 1 degree of Aries on the IC of the United States. And that is where we're about to have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, okay? In that same spot. And there was a Venus-Chiron conjunction, okay? Another thing to remember. And that Mercury was coming up on that Uranus. And there was like a Sun-North Node conjunction. Now this is the first clade 1 mpox case, which was just this past November. Okay, this is the more serious version. There have been 10 deaths of this kind since November, but it's still pretty slow moving, okay? Chiron was we were in a Chiron return. Exactly in that spot. Chiron is the wounded healer, okay? Transit Jupiter was directly on Mars, expanding like inflammation and infection, okay? Mars was on the North Node. That's our karmic path. Mercury was on the ascendant, okay? And Pluto was right changing signs between Capricorn and Aquarius. Now this chart is from this April, but remember I showed you in the first chart there was a Mars-Venus conjunction. In the second chart there was a Venus-Chiron conjunction, and there was also a Mars-Jupiter conjunction, okay? Right now we have Mars, Venus, and the Sun all opposite Jupiter. And they are all square Chiron. Chiron and Jupiter are in a square. So all those planets are coming back together. Uranus is in retrograde right now in a Venus-ruled sign. And it's about to turn forward in a couple weeks, shortly after the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction is going to be on that same spot where the Jupiter was, okay? Now this chart I'm showing is actually from April, because then we have all these planets moving into Aries where Saturn and Neptune are. Like there's going to be Mars conjunct those things. And then we have a Sun-Chiron conjunction happening, and Uranus will be coming back through this final little thing, and Pluto will be approaching the South Node of the United States, which is like a release, like, okay, and Jupiter has been in retrograde in Cancer, right? It's gonna then get back to where basically here, the United States natal sun, and then turn forward and go direct again, and then it will be conjuncting Mercury. And when we have that major planetary alignment this like summer, Jupiter will be opposite Pluto, so like expanding death of the people. That Jupiter will be conjunct the North Node. And then there will be that Mars-Uranus conjunction. And Neptune is going to be square Jupiter and Venus in the 8th house. So like Neptune is like fever, infection, like a hidden disease is square that Venus and Neptune, like Venus is the people and Jupiter is the chart ruler of the United States. So that's just like expanding death because it's the 8th house. Now, Chiron will be moving into Taurus in July, but then we're also having that major planetary alignment at that time that looks like really crazy. And then Taurus will be Chiron will be coming back into Aries for like most of 2027, or like, I guess not most of it, only April, okay? But like, I haven't looked at this closely enough to really get a whole timeline on how I think this is going to go, but it probably won't wrap up until that Chiron transit's over.